going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everyone? As one Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time published author and educator here, as promised, for our first ever episode of Tackling Turnover with Teamwork, in which we will discuss a lot of different things. We're going to have a lot of ground to cover from current events. And one of the things, the superpower that I have is taking the lessons that I've learned from the football field, as you can see here, my latest book, Transferring D1, taking the lessons that I've learned and the things that are going on in the football field, in the sports world, applying those teamwork lessons to business. And what I've decided to do, because I do a lot of public speaking, I do a lot of videos, I do a lot of reactions, and some of the topics, most of the times, the topics get to the point where it's like I can't keep it confined into just one video, 1 10-minute or less video. So I've decided to expand upon it. I've actually learned how to use live streams and all that kind of stuff. So expect to see me here regularly coming at you on the live streams every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll probably end up doing them every single day, but I'm working up to that. But I'm doing them Monday when I'm committed to doing them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I have the Stay Higher Sundays with Kimberly Blue, which we had a great episode of that. We had a great live stream yesterday. That video is available on YouTube. So as far as what we're going to discuss today, what the current events are today, all right, there's a lot of things there's a lot of ways in which we can look at what's going on in the sports world and apply it to our businesses. And the number one way, the main thing that, in my opinion, the sports world provides, and the examples that we see in the sports world, is this concept of nepotism. And for those of you who don't know, nepotism means it's the idea of hiring someone because they're a family member, because you're someone's nephew, you get the job doing this, or because you're someone's son, because you have the right, someone's son or daughter, because you have the right surname, whatever it is. All of a sudden you get put in a situation which you're not actually qualified for. That's kind of the tone in which nepotism is used for. All right. So before I get too deep into the topic, I'm going to start off with what I do every single Monday. I call it Make Your Move Monday, and it's made, the brand makeyourmove.com. That's the main website to check out all my work and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing I do every single Monday, for you regular consumers of my work, I started doing this, a couple of years ago. I recently actually brought it back, but I'll start doing them again. But I do something called a kickoff question. All right. Monday, Make Your Move Monday's kickoff question. And to get everything started off, as you see in the title, we're talking LeBron, we're talking Coach Prime today, we're talking Donald Trump, and we're talking nepotism. How all three of those names I just mentioned, there's some nepotism involved in their current situations, their current career. Some of their critics, some of the people that have praised them, a lot of it is involved with, fatherhood. And, that's something I'm very passionate about as well, seeing that I do aspire to be a father one day as well. And I work with kids and I deal with a lot of parents, right? So as far as the question to get things kicked off, and I'm specifically, like I was telling you on the video this morning, I'm specifically targeting you Jordan faithfuls, the Michael Jordan diehard people. I'm targeting you guys on this question, all right? Because as we're seeing, as one of my favorite times of the year, last week of October, we're seeing basketball get kicked off. We're seeing baseball get into the playoffs. We're seeing football moving in that, where teams are starting to separate themselves. It's just a great time of year for all my real sports folks, right? And you got to pose the question. You got to ask the question now. Are you taking, hold on, let me make sure before I get started. Let me make sure I am, go live. Sorry. I'm still getting the hang of this live thing. All right, cool. All right, you got the question is, are we taking Lakers, Bron, what we're seeing with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers and the work that he's putting in at year 22, are you taking Lakers LeBron James over Washington Wizards Michael Jordan? That's the question. That's the question. If you heard that question specifically, if you're one of the Jordan faithfuls, I've been on Team LeBron for a couple years now, but I'm a little biased seeing that I am a Miami Heat fan, and he brought us two championships, and what I was witnessing throughout that time as just when he was with the Miami Heat for those 4 years was stuff that didn't make no damn sense. I mean, he was doing shit that was just you just don't like impossible. And I have been on record saying, look, I'm a D Wade fan. Like that was my guy. I remember I used to get into arguments about who was better between D Wade and LeBron just completely trashed that entire argument when he went to the Heat. He proved that he is the GOAT. So for me, the reason I consider him the GOAT is because of that, not because I witnessed it. Now, I'm born 1989, so I grew up in an era where I saw the back end of Chicago Bulls version of Michael Jordan, but the most of what I like witnessed, and I went to games and I more so watched Washington Wizard Michael Jordan, which is why I think I'm so heavy on Team Braun. However, I do understand the Jordan, the people who say Jordan's the best, when they start bringing up the flop in, when they start bringing up all how soft the NBA has gotten, because it really has. Every time you look up, somebody's hurt or there's a foul, and you got guys, free agency. The whole thing is just kind of a mess when it comes to the NBA. But at the end of the day, it's just who your guy is, just who my guy is, right? The person that you actually see. My nephew's going to have a different player, and everybody's going to have their era of player. But we got to be 100% honest when it comes to today's kickoff question, which is Laker LeBron James is easily, I mean, 10 times better, not even in the same arena as Washington Wizard Michael Jordan. Again, I grew up in Maryland. I've seen this. Like, this is not even a comparison. So what does that now say to the Jordan faithful? What does that now say to the people who have been Team Jordan and they've dubbed Jordan as the GOAT before LeBron's career is actually over? You see, that's what you got to ask yourself now, because one of the things I remember actually listening to D Wade on this was back when I Am Athlete podcast was a big thing. And they asked him, they said, look, that's your teammate, that's your boy, and he still picked Jordan, but at the same time, you can kind of hear in his conversation where it's hard to compare two guys when one is still currently playing. Think about that. Okay, think about that. You're comparing two players. One is still currently playing, still, won. I mean, the scoring titles, and he played with us. There's so many things that he's still doing in year 22. So you really don't have a comparison, especially when we're talking about a guy in Jordan who came back and played with the Wizards, and it just didn't end well at all. It was not a good, in my opinion. I felt like he should have left in 96 off the fadeaway and just be done with it. I thought that would have been the best way to just end his career. Like, my favorite player of all time is Ray Lewis, and I love the fact that Ray Lewis ended his career with the championship, with the Super Bowl, just right on to the sunset. I felt like Jordan shouldn't have came back. He should have just left us all with that image, him pushing my man Russell, and just that bow off the fadeaway. And just end it, drop the mic. I didn't like the fact that I think it ruined his, the picture for me, because I'm a young guy. I was still probably elementary, middle school age at that time, and I didn't really like the fact that he came back, even though it was from my hometown Washington Wizards team, right? So that's the kickoff question. And the kickoff question, as we transition, the reason I brought that up is because I want to bring it to year 22, and I want to react to LeBron James and Bronny and this whole idea of nepotism, this whole idea of, oh, well, Bronny only, I think he averaged like 2 points or something at USC. He didn't have a great, I don't even call it great. He didn't have much of a career at all. He didn't really play. I think he was hurt when he was at USC. However, he still gets a chance to play for the Lakers. He still gets to the NBA and all that kind of stuff. And while the criticism of it's only because he's LeBron James' son, while that criticism is valid, the question is actually, what's wrong with that? Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem?